Welcome to the No Spin News, Monday, January 5th, 2026. Happy New Year. Stand up for your country. I thought we might get away with the Christmas break without any news intrusion. No. But it was the last 2 days when President Trump decided to remove the Venezuelan dictator, Nicolás Maduro, using U.S. military forces to do so. I right away was on News Nation with Leland Vittert that Saturday night because I was so furious about the initial reporting done by the American press, which is essentially dishonest, as you know. But it wasn't so much they were dishonest. Yes, they don't, anything Trump does, they don't like. We know that. But they had no idea what was happening. None. Or why it was happening, and they didn't know anything. So I did slap the suit and makeup on, went on News Nation, and we have posted it on BillO'Reilly.com, my segment with Leland Vittert, for premium and concierge members. Another reason why I hope you consider joining our club there. Because you got the best information, lightning speed, all right? And why you're wasting, I'm involved with this because I was watching other news agencies, and I was yelling at the television set, you don't know what you're talking about. And as you know, I have experience reporting from Latin America. Anyway, tonight we're going to give you every bit of what happened and why it happened, and that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. Plus, we're going to take you to Caracas. We have a guest, a journalist who's on the ground there. So we have, once you get through with us, you'll know what's going on. Number one, U.S. Special Forces descended into Caracas, Venezuela at 1 a.m., on Saturday morning, 2 a.m. Caracas time. We're an hour ahead of us. They targeted Maduro and his wife, who were in a military compound outside of Caracas in so-called safe place. And it wasn't safe because the deal was made before the U.S. Delta Force went in with the CIA that the Venezuelan military would not protect the dictator Maduro. That deal was already made, and they didn't. There were no U.S. casualties. There was no police intrusion on the part of the Venezuelan government, nothing. So they sold Maduro out. They snatched him, put him on a helicopter. He went to the USS Iwo Jima, which was off the coast of Venezuela, transferred to a military transport place, took him to New York State, where he is incarcerated in Brooklyn, and today pled not guilty to narcotics charges and a whole bunch of other stuff that the Justice Department alleges. Now, Maduro obviously is entitled to his day in court. Due process extends to him, but he will be found guilty. The evidence is overwhelming against him. You have to remember that the American CIA is all over the place in Venezuela, Colombia, Honduras, Mexico. They know what's going on. And right now, the CIA is essentially running Venezuela from the American embassy in Caracas. There is no American ambassador. CIA is calling the shots in association with the Venezuelan military. That's why you don't have any kind of crazy chaos going on there. Not to say that bad things might unfold in the future, but right now, no U.S. casualties. The New York Times reported there were some Venezuelan casualties, but nobody else has reported that. So I don't know what's true and what isn't. I'm certainly not going to trust the New York Times. Who is Nicolás Maduro? Well, he was a corrupt politician, friends with Hugo Chavez, the communist who took over the Venezuelan government. Chavez died in March of 2013. Maduro was vice president. He just took the government over. Maduro effectively wiped out any political opposition, so he was elected and reelected. The whole game that has been going on in South America since World War II. You just shun the opposition. Anybody who opposes you, you throw into jail. You terrorize the people and you run the country. That's what they do in Cuba. And I can give you 20 other South American countries where that has happened. That's what Maduro is doing. And if you don't believe me, all you got to do is go to Amnesty International, the furthest left organization on the planet. They document all of Maduro's suppression of freedom in Venezuela. Amnesty International documents it. Now, the crazy liberals in the Democratic Party, they don't even know that. So, they got Maduro. He's here. He pleads not guilty. The process goes forward. What is going to happen is exactly what happened to Manuel Noriega in Panama in 1989. So then, President Bush the Elder moved 27,000 U.S. troops into Panama, snatched Noriega, took him to Miami, where he sentenced to 40 years for narcotics trafficking. Noriega sold Panama to the drug cartels. Bush removed him. Now, there wasn't any reporting Saturday night on that. It's exactly the same. Exactly. All you heard was War Powers Act this, War Powers Act that. Now, to get more specific, because we need you, the American person, voter, to understand. The syndicate that Maduro allegedly worked with is called Cartel de las Soles, S-O-L-E-S. Okay? In the summer and again in November, the Trump administration designated Cartel de las Soles as a terrorist group. That means, under American law, we can use American military people to attack that cartel, just as we did to attack Soleimani. Remember that? Taking him out, the Iranian henchman, and ISIS, and Osama bin Laden. There's no War Powers Act. Okay, it was like basically, okay, president has authority, if he deems a group to be terrorists, to attack them. But we all understand that. Apparently, the Democrats don't. Okay. And I don't want to make this a party thing, but it's absurd. It's insane. Now, what happened in Panama is what they call precedent. So if the Democratic Party does anything legally, the Supreme Court is going to say, no. There's been precedent since 9/11 and then before, since 1989. American president has the power to protect this country. Does not have to consult with Congress on every action. In fact, how could you possibly consult with Congress on bombing the Iranian nuclear facility or snatching Maduro? We have a weak debate on Maduro, like he's not going to know what you're doing? That puts American military lives in danger. All right, doesn't matter. None of this matters to the Democratic Party or the media that supports it. Roll the tape.
And I think that's why a war powers resolution is absolutely necessary right now to debate.
I directly asked Secretary of State Rubio whether the administration would come to Congress and basically ask permission of Congress, which is consistent with the Constitution and the War Powers Act.
We need to have the War Powers Acts put into place so that anything that happens requires approval of Congress.
No, it's not going to happen. The War Powers Act basically says that if you declare war, you got 60 days to bring that declaration for congressional approval. Okay, but we haven't declared war on Venezuela. All right, we arrested a alleged criminal that was hurting our national security by allowing tons of cocaine to be smuggled in here. That's what we did. Now, the worst, and I mean absolute worst, politician in this country today is Senator Charles Schumer, the minority leader. This guy is an amazing hypocrite. The Biden administration designated $25 million reward for the abduction of Nicolás Maduro. Did you know that? The Biden administration. So we'll pay you 25 million if you can get Maduro and bring him up here. Schumer say a word? No. Did you know it? No, you didn't. And if you did, write to me, bill@BillO'Reilly.com, and tell me how you knew it, because it wasn't reported. All right, so Schumer shows up with that nitwit George Stephanopoulos, who I just crucified today on Message of the Day on BillO'Reilly.com. This guy is so ridiculous, I don't even have the words anymore. Anyway, the two of them are on the Sunday show. Go.
You heard Secretary Rubio there. He says the United States has the authority to do what they're doing.
They
right
do not.
now.
They do not.
Why not?
He couldn't even answer your question. There is no authority to go. They did not just do ships off the water. They went inside Venezuela, bombed civilian as well as military places. And it's a violation of the law to do what they did without getting the authorization of Congress.
That's just false. Now, he's either too stupid to understand that or he's lying. And I don't know of any action to bomb civilians in Venezuela. It certainly hasn't been reported. Now, Schumer did the exact same thing in the Iran bombing, almost word for word. Oh, what happened there? Nothing. Nothing. And how did that turn out? Schumer said it was going to lead to a, quote, wider war when Trump bombed the Iranian nuclear facility last summer. Did it lead to a wider war? No. In fact, Iran's on the verge of collapse right now. So, do you think Schumer might temper? No. Because he didn't care. He doesn't care about you or me or the country. He is a fanatical left-wing person at this point in his career. It's just stunning, it really is. This will never get to the Supreme Court, but if it did, they just throw it out in a heartbeat. Okay, so in 2020, when Trump was running against Biden, okay, we'll go way back then, Schumer wanted Maduro removed. Roll it.
He hasn't brought an end to the Maduro regime. The Maduro regime is more powerful today and more entrenched today than it was when the president began.
Schumer wanted him out. And he was criticizing Trump for not getting him out. I mean, talk about a colossal. I have to tell you this, I've been doing this, more than 30 years now, news analysis and reporting more than 50. I've never seen a more irresponsible politician ever than Charles Schumer. And that goes back to Civil War days. I mean, this man just lies to you. And that's why the Democratic Party has no credibility whatsoever. That's why, even if the economy doesn't surge this year, Republicans might still hold on because the Democrats are so bad. Because they're led by Charles Schumer. He's the most powerful Democrat in the country. Okay, let's sum all this up. So the action that the Trump administration took was legal. There is precedent. Maduro will be convicted. He will never see freedom again. Noriega got 40 years. Maduro will probably get 40. Okay, his wife will get 10 or 15. She went along with it. But she's not the threat. I don't know what's going to happen inside Venezuela. No one can predict that. I have a guest coming up in very shortly who's going to give us his opinion, but I don't know. I don't think we should have American military presence walking around that country, but certainly we should, we being the American government, oversee Venezuelans to temporarily stabilize the situation and set up free elections. CIA is perfectly capable of doing that, and I would assume they will do it. But I don't expect any kind of Iraq action or Afghanistan where these fanatical people are trying to hurt United States troops. I don't foresee that. If I'm wrong, I'll obviously report I'm wrong. And that's the memo. If you had one holiday wish, would you wish to be debt-free? Well, I may have a solution for you. Before year end, credit card and loan companies close out their books, meaning lenders might be able to open negotiations, which gives you leverage. And Done with Debt knows how to use that to negotiate hard on your behalf. They monitor lender trends and pressures to help you escape from crushing debt without bankruptcy or new loans. From month one, Done with Debt works to reduce your total debt, leave you with more money every month. Start now because your leverage may disappear at year end. Chat for free with a Done with Debt specialist at donewithdebt.com. That's donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com. And don't forget to tell them O'Reilly sent you. One more thing. Kamala Harris. I was curious, so I tortured my staff and I said, what is Kamala? Just because she could be president. All right. So she did post something on X, and here it is. Donald Trump's actions in Venezuela do not make Americans safer, stronger, or more affordable. Maduro is a brutal, illegitimate dictator that does not change the fact that this action was both unlawful and unwise. We've seen this movie before. Wars for regime change or oil that are sold as strength but turn into chaos, the American families pay the price, unquote. Okay, I don't see any chaos. My family isn't being damaged by this. Is your family being damaged by this? I don't see that. Okay. Kamala Harris. So what is your solution to the drug cartel problem, Madam Vice President? What is it? What would you do? Nothing. Biden helped the drug cartels, and you went along with it. You told the people on The View, I wouldn't change anything. President Biden helped the international drug merchants, helped them by having the open border. And Kamala Harris said, oh, yeah, it's okay with me. But now, no. American families are paying the price for snatching Maduro. How? How am my family paying the price? I think the region's going to be much better off without Maduro. And his pal over in Colombia better watch his butt too, because he's playing the same game. Both Maduro and the Colombian guy took vast amounts of money, according to the Justice Department, from the drug cartels to let them operate openly. It really, I'm trying to make this as vivid as I can. And it's not a political screed. It is telling you what the reality is in this country. So you may hate Trump's guts, but he's trying to alleviate certain problems. Harris is no solution to any problem ever. 74 million people voted for her. All right. Let's bring in our guest, Román Camacho from Caracas, Venezuela. Mr. Camacho is a very brave man, and he won't tell you that, but I will. He's an honest journalist in a country that's corrupt. He's been put into prison for things he said. But we wanted his eyes and ears on the ground. So, first of all, the people that you have spoken with in the last 48 hours, are they angry that Maduro has been kidnapped by U.S. forces?
Well, there are two sides of this story. We have Venezuelans that are afraid to go out to the streets and celebrate. And we also see people that are rallying against the Trump's administration, and they want their president back. So we have both sides. Yesterday, I spoke to at least 3 people in a rally that was in the downtown Caracas next to the presidential palace. And they want their president back. Even one of them was a colectivo, one of the armed forces of the government that protects the revolution. And he said that if he could be able to go to the United States and take justice by himself against Donald Trump, he will do it. So they're very angry about what happened here in Venezuela. And a lot of people are also afraid and don't want to show any celebrate. They don't want to celebrate. They don't want to post anything on social media or even on their status update on WhatsApp. So there are fear, and also there are some people very angry.
Okay, do you have a prevailing wisdom here? So we understand there are Maduro supporters. Most of those people make money off the dictatorship. They like him. And then we also understand there are people who are, Venezuela is one of the poorest nations in the hemisphere, even with all your oil. Should be a very prosperous nation. At one time you were. But for the last 25 years, under the communist dictators, it has gone down, and most Venezuelans live in poverty now. So I can't imagine they're big fans of Maduro. And the second question is, Mr. Camacho, why would Maduro have to fix elections, all right, which have been documented, if he was so popular?
Well, that we haven't even recovered from the 2024 election. Maria Corina Machado is in exile, and all the ballots, or all the proof about this alleged fraud are abroad. So Venezuelans are also waiting for the official results here in Venezuela. Venezuelans doesn't know which was the real result. We only received like a small briefing from the electoral college.
Yeah, I know, but look,
if you read, and they said, well,
if you read the Amnesty International report, Maduro banished opposing parties. Come on. I mean,
exactly. There's no opposition right now here in Venezuela.
But I'm very interested in the man on the street. All right. When I went to Caracas and spent some time there, it was a dangerous city. I didn't walk around at night in Caracas. I mean, there was a lot of drug activity there. There were a lot of thugs there. I didn't really feel comfortable there at all. And with the economic profile of your country, I can't imagine that people wouldn't say this is a good thing. But I'm trying to get your assessment. Do you think most Venezuelans are happy that Maduro is gone?
Well, you could say that because you also seen the demonstration abroad, but in Venezuela,
Right.
You cannot say that. At least you talk to some people with your neighbors and with your friends, and you'll know that they're happy with the decision, but they cannot show it. That's the truth.
I got it. But just to put this into context, the Venezuelan community, the largest in the USA, is located in West Dade County, just west of Miami. And they've been there for quite some time, but they're middle-class people. They're like the Cubans who fled from Castro. They came over here because they were getting brutalized by Maduro and Chavez, so they got out of there. So they're not looking at it. They hate them. But they are very, very happy. But I'm just wondering if people walking around today in Caracas, and now Maduro's gone and his crew is never coming back, whether they feel relief. I understand they're afraid. I understand they can't go out and say that. That's why we have you on, okay? And you have to watch what you say too. But do you really believe that your friends, your family, people you know, they really wanted to continue with Maduro? Do you really believe most Venezuelans wanted to continue with this guy?
No, most Venezuelans doesn't want to continue with Maduro. They want a new government. They want alternate the government here in Venezuela. They want new faces, new ideas, new, businesses, new everything. So for now, the problem is that, okay, Maduro right now is in New York. He's been indicted for drug trafficking. But we still have all the structure. We have Delcy Rodriguez as president. We got all those.
But remember, though,
we have all the structure.
I understand, but remember, the CIA is really running that place. And they made the deal, as I said, with the Army. The Army was not going to intrude on this thing, all right? So the Army said, take them. That surprise you?
Well, of course it was surprising, but what surprised me the more was that today 2 journalists are being detained just for being in the streets. Other people are being harassed by the intelligence forces here in Venezuela. So, all right.
There's still low-level thugs doing that. Right.
The Trump is here, but
good to know.
We still have some human rights violations here in Venezuela. So I don't know what's changing or how much it's going to take us to change this.
I hope it does change. One final question for you. The fear level is going to take a while to go away. Because once you live under a communist dictatorship, and I've been to plenty of them, and you're right, people, they don't want to be killed or banished or, just got back from China, and those people over there, they're not going to get out of line, all right, because they know what's going to happen to them. But I don't expect any anti-American displays mass uprisings against the USA in Venezuela. Am I wrong?
No, I don't think you're wrong. But first, we have to do like a transition. We cannot get Maria Corina Machado and Edmundo right back in because you have to control the military forces, you have to control the militias, you also have to control some people that are part of the colectivos that they don't want another government, they just want Maduro back. So
Right.
you cannot do it at once.
It's going to take a
It's
while
gonna
to
be a
weed it
slow
all out.
change, but it could work.
Right. But I don't expect an Iraq or Afghanistan situation in Venezuela.
Nothing like that. We wouldn't see that.
Mr. Camacho, we really appreciate you taking the time. You're a brave man, as I mentioned. If you need anything from us, you please let us know, okay?
Thank you so much, Mr. Wright.
Right. You've heard me talk about all family pharmacy before, and I'll keep talking about them because they are truly doing things right. They're fast, reliable, and they care about getting people the meds they need without all the runaround. When you don't want to wait in line and would rather get your meds delivered to your door, you need all family pharmacy. When everyone around you is sick and you want to be prepared, you need all family pharmacy. And when your doctor says they will not prescribe ivermectin, you need all family pharmacy. They've got everything: antibiotics, antivirals, Tamiflu, blood pressure meds, more. Order online. Once approved by the doctors, your medication ships straight to your door. Be prepared for whatever this new year brings. Please visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Bill. Use the code BILL10 to save 10%. All right, folks, let's talk about the timeshare nightmare. If you are stuck paying endless maintenance fees, special assessments, it is time to call my friends at Lone Star Transfer. With more than a decade of experience, they lead the way in the timeshare exit industry with exclusive solutions. Lone Star Transfer makes timeshare exits quick, easy, and guaranteed in writing. Over the past 15 years, this family-owned company has helped more than 30,000 owners break free from their timeshares. They have earned an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of 5-star reviews. I've endorsed Lone Star Transfer for more than 5 years. Now, because they are the only company that I trust to deliver results for my listeners. For a free consultation, please call 855-551-7066, 855-551-7066, or you can visit LoneStarTransfer.com. Thank you for watching. To view full episodes of the No Spin News anytime, sign up to become a BillO'Reilly.com premium or concierge member today.